welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. Today I'm actually going through this real quick, trying to find what I was actually looking at. We're going to talk about something that popped up in my news feed on Instagram today. And Nick Trigilli, who I like Nick, he's a good dude. Some people may or may not like him. I think he's a good dude. He's very blunt. He says what's on his mind. I think that pisses a lot of people off, but it's the same way I am, same way Sean Reyes. A lot of people don't like Sean because he just speaks his fucking mind. He doesn't really give a shit. But that being said, there was not a debate, there was, and I think Nick's actually making a video about this right now because he said he was going to tune in and make his own video and put it up on YouTube about this very subject. I'm trying to like scan through everything to find it. Basically, it was a post put up on his Instagram. I don't know where it was posted on, but Nick put it up. So it was basically Jeremy Buendia, the Physique Mr. Olympia, four-time Physique Mr. Olympia, talking to Sergio Oliva Jr. About some things that Sergio said. It's a he said type shit. And, it turned into like this back and forth thing about Jeremy basically saying that like Sergio kind of knocks the physique guys and makes fun of physique. And they've made fun of classic physique too. Like, and I've seen some of the things that different guys post and stuff like that. And I didn't see Sergio's original post. So he's saying basically he didn't say this, he didn't say that. Now, I'm sure the truth will come out, who said what. But here's the thing. Basically the fight was over the fact that Jeremy Buendia, who is the Physique Mr. Olympia, said that if it wasn't for these new classes, and bodybuilders in general pick on the new classes. Okay, they pick on physique. Boston Lloyd is famous for picking on physique, calls it fagzique. Classic physique he picks on, which I don't think he's got any right to be picking on anything, but that's just his opinion because he likes the freaky look. He loves the drugs, he loves the freaky look, and that's his thing. Like, he wants to do bodybuilding, but it's not bodybuilding anymore. And without these new classes, right, your bodybuilding competitions would fucking be gone. There would be no bodybuilding competitions. We get maybe 3 in a class tops now at a show, and that's on a good show. There are a lot of shows where we have to combine the athletes because there's 1 in each class. So we'll have like a lightweight, a middleweight, and a light heavyweight all standing on stage together, and they're all first place because there was only 1 each. You're not going to put them through their quarter turns by themselves, so we're going to put them all in one category or one stage showing, but even though they're all separate classes, because bodybuilding is dying, period. Hands down, it is absolutely dying. Just like female bodybuilding was dying, so is men's bodybuilding. And if you didn't have these classes, there wouldn't even be the competitions for these bodybuilders to sign up for, because literally they wouldn't be making enough money to make it worth what they're doing, right? So if anything, they should say, hey, here's the evolution. Like, I really love the bodybuilding thing. This is what I'm about. These physique guys do their thing. Cool, whatever. But you got people making fun of them. Like Boston flat out. I'm going to disagree with Boston on a bunch of things. One thing I will agree with Boston on is Boston is that some of the physique guys are using a lot more drugs than I think people think they are, okay? Now, Boston seems to think they're using the same amount as the bodybuilders. I'm going to disagree with them on that because there's no fucking way these guys are using the same amount of shit as these guys that are fucking 35 pounds heavier than these guys, 40 pounds heavier than these guys. There's nowhere near the amount of fucking injections going in these bodies, but I do know what both of them use. And I was at Team Universe in 2016, I think, whatever year I did Team Universe. And I was standing backstage on 1 cc of testosterone, Triandro by Primeval Labs, and I think I was taking the Erosion, which was the estrogen blocker by Primeval Labs. And I was under the impression, because I had just won I was doing really well in competition without having to take a bunch of drugs, no growth hormone, no tren, none of that stuff. And I figured, hey, I'll roll into Team U and I'll be on, even footing. The guys in my age, I get there and everybody's outweighing me by like 25 pounds. And I'm like looking at them going, what the fuck? And I'm backstage and some of them knew me from YouTube and they're like, oh, what are you taking? I tell them, they're like, no, seriously. I'm like, no, that's all I'm taking. And they're like, I'm doing my CCF test, my Triandro. They're like, oh, you look good for taking that stuff. And I was like, why? I'm like, what are you guys doing? Right? They were taking insulin, growth hormone, Anadrol. And I'm like, for physique? I'm like, holy fuck. Now, these guys are taking like an Anadrol tablet. You know what I mean? They do 2 IUs of growth hormone, maybe 4 IUs of growth hormone. Insulin, like a couple of the guys use your insulin. And like, honestly, their condition wasn't that good and they didn't do very well either. But the bottom line was the guys were using more than they actually thought they were. But it is nowhere fucking near the drugs that these bodybuilders are taking, to the point where many athletes do not want to take those fucking drugs anymore. They do not want to load up with 5 grams of test a week, 10 grams of test a week. That's of one drug, compounding 700 to 1,000 milligrams of trends. They don't want to do this anymore, okay? They're not fucking stupid. It's a waste of fucking money, and no offense, but bodybuilders are not out there getting the big contracts. They're not out there. People like Kai Green, that's completely different. Kai Green, it's because of his personality. Whether he was big, small, and different, doesn't fucking matter. He's Kai Green. But all these big bodybuilders standing around at expos and walking around that have no fucking contracts, no companies, nothing going on, yet the physique and the classic physique guys are fucking all over the place, right? There's fucking tons of them everywhere. Contracts in the mainstream, in magazines still, whatever magazines are left. You promoting companies, starting their own companies. Like, there's a huge business right now for bikini, figure, physique, and classic physique. Those are the ones right now that are mainstream to the public, that they pay attention to the most. And you can literally have one of these guys walk down the road and people go, oh, I'd love to look like that. The bodybuilding classes, it's not like that anymore. Like, you know, I wish it was, but it's just fucking not. And, you know, I think that putting down physique and putting down classic physique, guys, you literally wouldn't have shit to go to if those didn't exist. Myself, as an NPC judge, we call those classes physique, bikini, classic physique, and figure. We call those home runs. We say those are a home run class. Why? Because there's absolutely going to hit it out of the park with that class. That's the one people pay attention. That's what people want to do. That's the one that people want to get involved in. Like, here's the thing. We had two choices when the new classes started. Let bodybuilding die. Like, literally let it die out to where you only maybe had a couple contests a year because there wasn't enough interest. There wasn't enough money to be made. There wasn't enough people that want to compete in actual bodybuilding. And they also didn't want to take the drugs. The black market has been fucking ridiculous. You got people all over the place with random drugs that aren't even real. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's like a fucking circus in bodybuilding in general right now. So the new classes come along. People want to get involved. They're excited. It re-sparks a whole new generation of people that want to be involved. That's how things evolve and grow. The only way you're keeping bodybuilding still on a stage anywhere and not like in a park somewhere with fucking 5 people on there and nobody knows the fuck is going on is for it to grow. And the only way it grew was with these classes. And, you know, saying stuff like, well, you know, they dropped to an easier class. I heard Boston say that. Boston, I'm going to tell you right now, and I would tell you this to your face, but I never see you. But if you came off all the fucking drugs, okay, let's see what you looked like. Because I guarantee you, you would have to bust your fucking ass to look like a physique guy. You would have to bust your fucking ass because, let's face facts, the amount of drugs that you take and some of these guys, you don't have to do a whole lot of work. You know what I mean? You said yourself, I don't even lift heavy. I go in there and just get a pump and walk out of the gym. There are guys in physique that are fucking benching more than you, squatting more than you, curling more than you, doing more work. And you have the balls to actually sit back and make fun of them. They're actually outworking you. And their physiques, no offense, are better than yours. And they have contracts and all kinds of shit going on. And they're the ones getting all the press. Like, why the fuck would you make fun of someone for doing something that they enjoy doing? Like, you talk about the easy way out. Boston, you quit bodybuilding because you couldn't win. That's a fact. That's the easy way out, right? You talk all kinds of shit about drugs and you know this and you're smart and you've experimented and you're a fucking genius with this shit. Yet you couldn't even win a fucking overall at a goddamn regional show, let alone go to a national show and turn pro after all the shit you talked, and then you just quit when it got too hard because you got beat. You quit. That's the easy way out. So I honestly don't feel like people like Boston have any right to talk about people that are busting their ass and doing well when they themselves don't get what they want right away and they take their ball and go home and say, fuck it, I'm out. Like, I'm not going to do this anymore. Like, I can't. You know, like, that's just not fair. Like, Sergio, I've seen him multiple times flip his shit. I get it. You know, like, he's upset about whatever the fuck is going on. But here's the deal. Like, unfortunately, without people like physique competitors, bikini competitors, now classic physique competitors, people made fun of Regan Grimes. That's where he fucking fits. That's where he belongs. In classic physique, he fucking won his first time out because he's got the frame, he's got the little waist. He doesn't want to fucking kill himself with drugs like some of the other guys. Like, granted, you know, there are guys out there like, oh, I'm not going to fucking die. Dude, you guys are fucking, some of you guys right now got one foot in the fucking grave that are blasting these drugs that are go heavy on the plunger. You guys are close and you just don't fucking know it. Like, I got friends around me left and right that are fucking dropping and having problems like kidney transplants. Like, Phil Hernan needs a kidney transplant. Pedro from 5%, he needs a fucking kidney transplant. I mean, left and right, people are getting fucked up because the amount of drugs they took for a certain amount of time. And people are not fucking stupid anymore. In this day and age, there's plenty of fucking information about drugs and what they do to your body. And these guys that are getting sick are actually coming out and talking about it now. Unlike the guys in the past that wouldn't talk about it or would blame it on fucking genetics or whatever the fuck's going on. These guys are actually telling you. Fakari Mubarak, he's another one. Like, went into the fucking hospital with kidney failure, walking around too big for too long, doing what he was fucking doing. Like, you know, people always talk about, oh, it's just the blood pressure. Well, how many of you motherfuckers out there walk around and taking care of your blood pressure? Fucking none of them. You guys are not going to doctors. You can't even afford to go to doctors because you're spending all your money on fucking drugs. Like, it makes no fucking sense to me, like, how people could look at anyone else and whatever the fuck they're doing, give them shit for it. Who gives a fuck what somebody's doing, whether it's physique, classic physique, if they juggle chainsaws on the fucking weekend and make ice sculptures? What the fuck do you care? Maybe if you concentrated more on yourself, you would actually do better and actually get further than worrying about whatever the fuck everybody else is doing. You know, it really fucking upsets me sometimes when people talk shit about other people, and I'm like, dude, you're the biggest fucking hypocrite on the planet. You do this, 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 and this, and that's what you're making fun of them for. Like, bottom line is, we've all fucking done things that we make fun of other people for, right? We've all done things that we're not proud of. We've all done things that we could have done better. Like, all these things. Like, everybody's been to a show where they could have been better, right? Everybody's done things for the show that fucking you think, fuck, man, I would never do that again. That was a close call, right? Everybody's done things like, look, man, I just can't keep up with this mass, so I'm going to go back down to middleweight because I can't keep up with the light heavyweight. There's no fucking shame in that. There's also no shame in fucking switching classes, because some of these fucking physique guys, they're getting fucking big. When you're walking around at 198 pounds at 5'8", shredded, and I mean fucking shredded, you got people go, whoa, they don't have big legs. Who gives a fuck? Like, you got to walk around with tree trunk legs to be fucking cool? Like, not everybody wants to walk around looking like they got a fucking watermelon shoved up their ass when they walk down the street because they want to look cool. And I got news for you. What you think is cool, the next person may not think is cool, and the general public may not think it's cool. So you got to understand, guys, like, there's a big fucking world outside besides your fucking couch, what you think is cool. And I can tell you right now, I spent years and years and years worshiping the giant physiques, going, I can't wait to get there. I need to be 300 pounds, right? And then when I got to 270 something, I realized what it took to get there. I was like, this is not what I fucking want to do. Like, I can't do this. Like, this is not going to end well. And smart enough, you know, I trimmed down. But there's a lot of guys out there that refuse. They fucking refuse to just say, you know what, like, this is not for me anymore. The ones that do that, I think, are pretty fucking smart. People like Anthony DeRezzo, who passed away, like, he's another one, just could not get it out of his head that he needed to have the mask. Curtis Leafler, fucking Art Atwood. I mean, this fucking list goes on and on about these mass monsters that fucking drop dead early because they think it's cool and are so fucking insecure. And another thing, people fucking picking on other people and talking shit, those motherfuckers are about as insecure as you can get, because they sit online and they fucking pick. They bully people from the fucking safety of their own house. They barely leave their fucking house because they know someone somewhere is going to give them a fucking crack on the jaw, and they don't want to fucking deal with that either. So in closing, guys, like, I don't think that you should be making fun of anybody for doing anything that they want to do. What do you fucking care? If you concentrated more on your own shit, you'd be further along, and maybe, just maybe, you wouldn't have enough time to be fucking with them. BodybuildingTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.bodybuilding.com is the blog. So leave them alone, motherfuckers. Anti-bully bicep, and we are out.